This is the only digital research channel in India producing the documentary ethnographic films on the endangered human populations and ethnic cultures of India. So subscribe this channel to know more about the endangered human population and ethnic cultures of India on every weekend. Thank you. Fine. Thank you very much. In the Man in Search of Man series, we are now in Udagamandalam, that is also called as Blue Mountains or Nilgiris Hills, which is abode for the most of the British administrator for the winter summer hill station. Here I came here in search of the 5 primitive tribes: Todas, Kotas, Irulas, Paniyas and Kurumbas. These are the 5 tribes inhabiting in this region. Now I have Dr. Parthasarathi, who was a director and Tribal Research Institute in Tamil Nadu, and who is staying here since 30 years. I wanted to take his help to identify the tribes where they are inhabiting and to go for the documentation of the film on the primitive tribes of India, which we have spending more than 25 years myself in documenting the ethnographic documents of the primitive tribes of India.
Yes, pleasure, because I know the contribution of Professor Subramanyam Naidu, also his interest in primitive tribal groups. So he has come from Pondicherry Central University, and this is my responsibility as a co-anthropologist to help him and to also to make him very impactful, effective, nearby to the primitive tribal groups of Nilgiris district. Towards the foothills of the Nilgiris district.
Okay.
We have Gudalur and Pandalur.
So towards the Mysore route.
Towards Mysore and Kerala.
Kerala, okay.
Sultan Bateri and Mysore.
Oh.
Gudalur and Pandalur.
Bandalore.
These 2 talukas are inhabited only by Katunayakans and Paniyas.
Paniyas, okay.
You cannot find these 2 on upper altitude. So they are living adjacent to Kerala and adjacent to Karnataka. And for instance, if you take Katunayakans, mostly they are around Nadugani. You can find 3 settlements.
Okay.
And if you come down towards Vaiteri, that is Erumad area, you can find around 7 Paniyan settlements.
Yes. Okay. So this is the distribution of all the 5 settlements.
Tribal PTGs. Okay. All are PTGs. And you can of Kerala. But few settlements are there in Pandalur Taluka of Nilgiris district. And mostly they were land laborers, and they worked as a bonded laborers in the lands of Syrian Christians and Maplas. Now government has somehow released them from their bondage, and they are rehabilitated and they are living separately.
The term pani denotes work, and Paniyan means men for work. The Paniyas speak a distinct language with unique nasal tone. The language is an admixture of Kannada, Tulu, Tamil and Malayalam. The younger generation of Paniya has become bilingual. They speak both Paniya language and also Tamil in Tamil Nadu, Malayalam in Kerala states. Regarding the origin of the Paniya, Edgar Thurston, in his works on castes and tribes of India in 1909, mentions that it is a common belief based on general appearance prevails among the European planting community that the Paniyans are African origin and descended from ancestors who were wrecked on the Malabar coast. This theory, however, breaks down on investigation of their origin. Nothing definite is known. His account shows that the Paniya were employed in coffee estates as workers and watchmen. He also contradicts the notion of that Paniyan are a coffee thieves, and he assures that domesticated Paniya is honest and fit to be entrusted with responsibilities. Another reference mentioned by Gopalan Nair in 1911 mentions that the Paniya are the best suited for agriculture as plowmen and field laborers. It depicts the majority habit of the Paniyan. During these days, criminal tendencies were seen among the Paniyan of Wayanad and also in Tamil Nadu. He also reports the Paniyan craze for music, singing and drinking. However, he did not report the Paniyan as a bonded labor community under landlords. These references show that landlords and estate owners often employed Paniyan for their mercenary works during the 19th century. The illiterate Paniyan folk carried out these operations in a period when might is right. The Nair, the landlords say that when surprised in the act of some mischief or alarmed, the Paniya calls out "Yippee, yippee" as he runs away, and they believe this is due to the H.A. Stewart, the census commissioner in 1891, mentions that their position is said to be very little removed from that of a slave, for every Paniyan is some landlord's man, and though he is of course free to leave his master, he is at once traced and good care is taken that he does not get employment anywhere. The Paniya used formerly to be employed by rich receivers as professional coffee thieves, going out by night to strip the bushes of their berries, which were delivered to the receiver before morning. The history says the whole of the rice cultivation in the Wayanad is carried out by the Paniyans attached to Edoms, that is the houses or places, or Devasams, that is the temple property of the great Nayar's landlords. And Chettis and Mapillas also frequently have a few Paniyans who they have brought or hired by the year. Almost all the Paniyas are inhabiting in the Western Ghats in the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. These people are living in inaccessible areas and in the forest regions. The Paniyan hamlets are called Padi. These are found by cluster of huts mostly located close to the paddy fields. Owing to the landlessness, Paniya families can be seen living in the forest departments, plantations, Paramboku lands, etc. They live close to non-tribal households for seeking employment. The Paniyan hamlets are usually small, that is 5 to 10 families in a village, or certain times government-sponsored colonies are large with 20 to 90 families living in an area. The Paniyan hamlets largely remain monoethnic. There are also Paniyan families living in multi-ethnic colonies. The huts are huddled closely with the eaves touching one another, a symptom of shortage of land, which you can observe in these colonies, how they are living and the way of life they are leading presently in many of the Paniyan colonies. The surroundings of Paniya villages are covered by coffee or pepper plantations of a settler or an erstwhile landlord with whom they had bonded labor ties in the past. The non-tribes in the neighborhood live in Pakka buildings, but at the center of a plot of 1 acre or more, the Paniyan clusters of huts, which are flimsy structures, exist in the neighborhood of these imposing structure as a symbol of abject poverty, misery, helplessness and neglect. புத்தூர் வயல் எத்தனை வீடு இருக்குங்க? Provided by the HADP Hill Area Development Program, we have Bangalore tile houses and also asbestos houses they have constructed. It is a very congested colony, you can see here. So houses are constructed side by side without any space, and one room houses, many of the houses are one room, which you can see here. This is a one room house. Some of the houses has been ruined, you can see here. There is no repair, and some of the houses, some of them are vacated. The house which you can see here, it is a dilapidated house. Only few. This is the husband and wife. You can see this house conditions, how they are living here. This is totally the decayed house. Only asbestos sheets are there. rain, everything will be coming inside the house. And you can come here. You can come here. This is the only one room they have. One kitchen, there is a kitchen come dining, everything is only one room. And inside you can see completely it is water is coming inside if rain comes. That is the conditions of their living. You can come here. This is the house, one of the house you can see here. This is the house with a kitchen and a living place. This is the, come here. This entire house is made with the betel nut leaves, where the flower will be coming, from that there will be a shade. In that they have made this one. You can see here. This is the place where they will be keeping all their items. This is the kitchen. This is the kitchen. This is the conditions of living. In the top they have not in the grass, only plastic sheets they have. And there is no plastic, only mud walls are there. You can come here and you can see. These are the place which they have made the walls. This is the wall like this. So this is the conditions of the most of these. You can see here. This is another house which you can see here. The conditions of this house is.
The concept of family has been found to exist since time immemorial and at all the levels of culture. In Paniya society, father is the head of the family. Descent is patrilineal or agnatic descent. Inheritance of property is also through father line. The rule of residence is patrilocal. Traditionally, joint families were common, but nowadays the nuclear families are predominant among the Paniya. Neolocal residence is common. After marriage, all the sons share the father's property equally, that is, male equigeniture. If a man dies without a male heir, his property goes to his brothers or their sons. The daughters do not have any right to inherit the parental property. Monogamy is a rule, but polygamy is also observed occasionally. So one can notice polygynous family along with the monogamous families in the Paniya society. Under the impact of acculturation and increase in contact with the caste population and other process of change, the concept of family has undergone drastic transformations, not only in Paniya but also all over the tribes of India. But in spite of the changes in the form and structure of the family, family as an institution continues in one way or the other. They have both affinal and consanguinal relationships. Kinship relations among Paniya are broad-based and hence it is called broad-range kinship. Cognates are traced in male line and referred as agnates. Paniya have extensive kinship networks. They have kin in different villages. The kinship relations between villages are established through affinal relations, that is, marriage links. Marriage plays a very important role in kinship networks of Paniya. The pregnant woman is considered vulnerable to malevolent spirit invasion, which can harm the fetus in the womb and the mother. During the 6th or the 7th month of the first pregnancy, the Paniya perform a warding off ceremony called Kotiyatam to exercise the malevolent invasion, the malevolent influence of the spirits of unnatural deaths and demons. The delivery takes place in the dwelling hut itself, and then all other members of the family shift to neighbor's hut. Adult males are prohibited from going to the delivery place. An experienced elderly woman of the hamlet called Verati acts as the midwife. The delivery position is usually by sitting with outstretched legs. They do it by lying also. The expectant mother rests her back on the side wall of the hut with outstretched legs. To ease out the pain,
the Marathi smear gingerly oil and gently massages over the lower abdomen. After the delivery, the umbilical cord is cut and 2 inches above from its base with a small sharpened knife. They do not tie the umbilical cord, but the cut end is washed with warm water and smeared with warm ash. The mother is given raw rice gruel added with garlic and cumin seed. The child is given brother's breast milk only after squeezing out of the first few drops, that is colostrum, as they believe that the milk was there stagnant for last few months and exposed to malevolent influences. Birth pollution lasts for 14 days. On the 15th day, the woman and the child are given purificatory bath. The baby is breastfed till 3 years of age or till the next conception. The Paniya celebrates the menarche of a girl. Menarche is called as Nirayal and the ceremony is called as Nirayal Kalyanam. The girl is secluded for 7 days. She is given a ceremonial bath. On the 8th day, her maternal uncle relatives visits her and gives her presents. A number of clans constitute the Paniya society. The name of some of these clans are Kulipalliyan, Palapalliyan, Makkalan, Kallambuyan, Chodangaliyan, Talivaliyan, Kimotan, Pundiyan, Kalikuniyan, Kayatan, Achali, Ernatan, Anjaniliyan, Murniliyan, Pudiriyan, Cherikan, etc. The clans are named after place. The clans vary from hamlet to hamlet. More than 100 such clans are enlisted. Certain clans are commonly seen and are distributed far and wide. These include Anjaliyan and Muniliyan. Children are born in the mother's clan. Clan exogamy is strictly followed and violation of this is tantamount in incest. In olden days, the offenders are expelled from the Paniya society. Each of the clan head is called as Pattalkaran or Talavar. He attributes the social affairs of the clan members. Usually he will be a senior member who is well versed in the social dictums of the Paniya society. There is no hierarchy among the clans. No clan is either inferior or superior. In the event of dissolution of marriage by divorce or after the death of father, the children live with the mother's natal clan members. Sexual or marital alliance with parallel cousins is prohibited. Cross-cousin marriage is also not preferred union. However, there are several such cases.
Taranam also they can marry. They have the different type of family names. There are plenty of names he is telling. And village exogamy is existing here. And they can marry outside the villages also. Nowadays, they are going outside also for the marriage. Distance relatives they are marrying. That is what he is telling. And the liberate and surrogate marriage system is also existing. Widow they can divorce freely. Divorce and remarriage is also allowed for both male and female. Widow can also marry. Widower also can marry. That is one. Divorce is free for them. We are going to have here. We are discussing with them the different types and forms of marriage system among these people. 2 rupees or 5 rupees 25 paisa they will be giving as a bride price. தானம் கொடுக்கறது தானத்துல கொடுக்கறதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Bride price is called as தானத்துல.
ஒரு பக்கத்து கிராமத்துல ஒரு பொண்ணு இருக்கு.
We follow strict endogamy at community level. One do not marry outside the community. The community endogamy is commonly approved and sanctioned by the society, the breach of which is considered the breach of law. The sanctions may range from excommunication from tribe or from the village itself. The preferential method of acquiring a mate among us is by negotiation, which involves a long procedure. Depending upon the talks of either party, the boy's parents put forward the proposal and start negotiations. After the successful negotiations, marriage is usually performed in the house of the bridegroom. The other methods of acquiring a mate among us are marriage by capture, mutual love, elopement, and marriage by service, or some of the forms of marriages which we are observing even today. Except for marriage by negotiation, for other methods there is no ceremonial attachment. Because of the poverty among us, many of them are following marriage by elopement, which requires very little amount of money for settling the marriage. In this case, both the boy and the girl who has eloped has to pay some fine for the panchayat, and Mupan heads this panchayat and resolves and confirms the marriage, and they have to give a feast to the entire community. Marriage by capture, still we are following. It is one of the popular marriage among us even today.
ஆமா நாங்கெல்லாம் போய் கொண்டுருவோம் நாங்க. அது என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க கேட்பாங்க, மாமா இன்னைக்கு நம்ம அந்த பொண்ணை நம்ம கொண்டுறணும் மாமா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா நாங்க இங்க இருந்து கொஞ்சம் பேர் எல்லாம் தயாராயிருவோம். பண்ணுவேன்னா அந்த பையன் எல்லாம் செலவு எடுத்துக்குவான், எல்லா செலவு நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன் மாமா, நீங்க இன்னைக்கு எனக்கு பின்னாடி இருக்கணும், எனக்கு பின் துணை இருக்கணும், அந்த பொண்ணை கண்டிப்பா எனக்கு பிடிச்சி போச்சு, அது கண்டிப்பா எனக்கு அந்த பொண்ணுக்கு வேணும், அது கட்டாயம் எனக்கு அது இல்லைன்னா நான் இல்லை அப்படின்னு அடம் பிடிச்சிருவாங்க. நாங்க என்ன பண்றோம், இவனுடைய அடம் பிடிச்சதுக்கு நாங்க இங்க இருந்து ஊர்ல இருந்து ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு 4-5 பேர் கொஞ்சம் நாங்க இந்த சினிமா படங்களை வர அடியாளங்களை போயிட்டு நாங்க கொண்டுருவோம், நாங்க கொண்டுருவோம். அது என்ன எதிர்ப்பானாலும் சரி, என்ன பிரச்சனாலும் சரி, அதை நாங்க பொருட்படுத்திக்க மாட்டோம். அது அந்த கொண்டாடுறதா அப்படிங்கிறது இருக்குது. அந்த கல்யாணம் உங்க கட்டு கொண்டாடுவோம்னு சொல்லுவோம் நாங்க. கட்டு கொண்டாடுவோம், கட்டு கொண்டு வேண்டும், கட்டு கொண்டு வேண்டும்.
The Paniya bury the dead. A trench 4 or 5 feet deep and large enough to receive the body to be interred is dug due north and south on a hill or near to the village. At the bottom of this excavation, the earth is scooped out from the western side on a level with the floor throughout the length of the grave, so as to form a receptacle for the corpse, which placed on a mat is laid therein upon its left side with the head pointing to the south and the feet to the north. After a little cooked rice has been put into the grave for the use of the departed spirit, the mat, which has been made broad enough for the purpose, is folded up and tucked in under the roof of the cavity and the trench filled up. The Paniya considers dead body as a sacred and it is equivalent to God. For 7 days after death, a little rice gruel is placed at a distance of from 50 to 100 yards from the grave by the chimney, who claps his hands as a signal to the evil spirits in the vicinity, who is in the shape of a pair of crows, are supposed to partake of the food, which is hence called as kaka konji or crow rice. The nombu or the morning ceremony or the tea polai is performed on the 7th day after the death. On all these occasions, the chimney presides and acts as a sort of master of these ceremonies. As the ceremonial carried out differs only in degree, an account of the kaka polai will do for all. The Paniya women and children collect a variety of roots, tubers, green leaves from the nearby shrubs, forests and non-tribal lands. They also collect coffee seeds. Sometimes they will go to the estates and they will collect with coffee seeds without the knowledge of the owners. This is done while they work in paddy fields or in dry lands. On non-working days, these kinds of items are the mainstay. When rice becomes scarce, they resort to gleaning roots and tubers, catching crabs and collection of the green leaves. The roots and tubers are available from September to November. They consume green leaves available immediate surroundings, which include different varieties of green leaves, the tender leaves and stalk of plants are cooked with condiments and used as side dishes. Fruits such as mangoes, jackfruits, guava are collected in certain seasons from neighborhood land or from the forest for consumption. Their food also includes mushrooms and varieties of roots and tubers which are available from the jungle. This is the coffee seeds pounding by a Paniya lady. She has collected the coffee seeds from the private estates without the knowledge of the owners, or sometimes they will be getting the coffee seeds from the forest. They will collect the coffee seeds from the forest, they process it and they will sell it in the market.
Boiled it in the water and they have removed the skin. And
This is the tapioca which you are observing here. They boil the tapioca and they cut into pieces and they dry it. After drying, they preserve it in a mud pot and it will be used during rainy season when the food is not available. Again reboil and they will eat this tapioca. This is the way of living. Dependency on forest has been reduced to a great extent. Now the forest people are not allowing these Paniya people even to collect firewood, roots, tubers and dry fruits also. So they are facing a great problem for their survival.
They used to have the forest, live forest happily. Now they had their own ethno medicine, their own soap nuts for taking bath. Everything was available. Presently, nothing is available. They are not allowed even to go and collect the honey. That is the conditions they are telling, expressing. So, is it total?
Paniya worship many deities which are considered superior to nature for obtaining their blessings for a peaceful and comfortable life. During the festivals, animal sacrifices are common. Ancestor worship is the major component of Paniya religion. All the dead, irrespective of their age and sex, are considered as ancestral spirits. The Paniya do elaborate rituals to get boons from the gods. This Paniya celebrates 7 days annual festivals in the month of April, which is called as Kodakuttam festival, for their Kuladaivam, that is the family deities of the Paniyas. They have 3 family deities. They are Padimurti, Tamborati and Karaguttati are the 3 deities they will be worshipping for the 7 days. It is an elaborate festival which will be performed annually.
ஏழாம் நாளையில் மட்டும்தான் நாங்கள் ஒரு காவுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். காவு அங்கே தான் குளியன், தம்பராட்டி, கருங்குட்டி இப்படியெல்லாம் இருக்கும். கருங்குட்டி இந்த மாதிரி படிப்புங்கிற மூர்த்திகள் இந்த மாதிரி கடவுளெல்லாம் அங்கே நாங்கள் வச்சு ஒரு இடத்துல வச்சு பூஜிப்பாங்க. அவங்க தான் எங்களுடைய குலதெய்வங்கள். படிப்பு, மூர்த்தி, தம்பராட்டி, குளியன்
மூணு Hinduism. Also they have adopted. Now he is going for Mariamman கோயில். அது மாரியம்மனுக்கு எங்க இருக்குது? இந்த மேகூர்ல.
It is observed the impact of great traditional gods is more among the Paniya settlements, which you can see here. Different gods they are worshipping.
Backside we have the Krishna, then Murugan, then Ayyappan, then many other gods. Again we have the Ganesha. So here we can see many gods. Where is it?
It is
Kanjikolli. Now we are in Kanjikolli village, Paniya settlement. Her name is Koti. She was living for here since for many years, and she is telling that she doesn't have the burial ground. Previously they had the burial ground. Now there is no burial ground. Now they are burying the dead bodies near to their houses. In the verandas also they are burying. என்ன சொல்லுமா, எவ்வளோ ப்ராப்ளம் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லுங்க, உங்க பாஷையில சொல்லுங்க.
நாங்க கொண்டு போய் ഞങ്ങൾ തോട്ടത്തായിട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോയി കുഴിച്ചുണ്ടായി. അപ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് എവിടെയും കൂടെ ചുടുകാട് കാണി. ഒരു ചുടുകാടുള്ള അക്കരെ ആയിട്ടുള്ളായി. അക്കരയിൽ ഇപ്പം ആടെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ചുടുകാടില്ലാതെ അതിൻ്റെ ആളായി. ഇനി ഞങ്ങൾ പുതിയ ബൈക്കായിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ കുഴിച്ചുണ്ടായി. അത് ഒരു 10 സെന്റ് സ്ഥലമേ ഉള്ളായി. ആ 10 സെന്റ് സ്ഥലത്തിലാണ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇത്ര കൃഷി ഉണ്ടാക്കുവാനും ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സ്ഥലം കാണി. ചുടുകാട് കുഴിച്ചുടുവാനും ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സ്ഥലം കാണി. ആ நிலையில் நாங்கள்
இங்கே உங்களுடைய அஜி தாத்தா அவங்களால எங்கே போச்சுங்க? நீங்கள் வீட்டில் சாவானக்கு எங்கே போச்சிருக்கீங்க? காமிங்க. வாங்க காமி எங்கே 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 போய் வச்சுருக்கீங்க
This is the place where my grandfather and grandmother has been buried within the compound. This is the side is the house.
They are land laborers and they are experts in paddy cultivation, particularly the Paniyas and Karnataka. And being landless laborers, they somehow made their representation to the government that wages should be raised so that they can work on the land. Then when they were suffering as bonded laborers, government of Tamil Nadu, they rehabilitated, and after rehabilitation what happened, they are not in a position to retain their lands because of the problem of land alienation even among the Paniyans and Karnataka. Though they have few acres of land, but most of their lands were actually grabbed and they are working as laborers on their own land.
And I have seen some of the villages, it is like a slums. Because of expansion of the number of families, they are not able to extend their family construction of the houses. In 5 acres of land, I have seen 65 households are living, and it is becoming a problem. One of the Paniya settlement where I have seen, they doesn't have the burial ground, and the burial ground, they have shown me where they have buried their father and mother, they have buried inside the compound of their house itself. That is the Paniyas in the Nilgiris, they are the problems which they are facing. And also Bettakurumba I have seen. Bettakurumbas, their burial ground was taken away by the forest department. There they are constructed the burial ground place, they have constructed the guest house and the quarters of the forest department. They have shown me yesterday, I have picturized it also. So they lost their Bettakurumbas, they lost their burial ground. This is the situation, means how these tribals can able to live and they can able to cope up with the pressures given by the not only the government organizations, NGOs and other corporate offices, whether these communities will survive, they can coexist with this, or they may extinct from the planet. I have the doubts.
Yeah, that is, of course, I agree with your conclusions. The problem is the most backward talukas among the 6 talukas of Nilgiris is Pandalur and Gudalur, where we can find 32% of the tribal population living in that area. And the problem is because of engulfment by the non-tribals in the tribal areas and the rise of land, the rate, because of so many resorts are coming out around the tribal areas. The problem is, what your opinion is, to looking like a slum. Yes, we have to accept it because they cannot bury. The burial problem is there since 1972.
Oh,
they are demanding 72 by the Paniyans and Karnataka.
பேர் என்னங்க?
இது வந்து புத்துருவாயில்.
எத்தனை வீடு இருக்கீங்க?
இங்க வந்து ஒரு 55 வீடு இருக்கும்.
யார் ஹில் ஏரியா டெவலப்மெண்ட் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல கட்டி கொடுத்தாங்களா இது?
ஆமா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல வந்து நம்ம இந்திரா காந்தி அம்மா இருந்த காலத்துல கட்டின வீடு தான் இதெல்லாம். இதெல்லாம் இப்ப நம்ம அன்னைக்கெல்லாம் நம்ம எம்ஜிஆர் எல்லாம் அன்னைக்கு ஆட்சி தானே, அன்னைக்கெல்லாம் இங்க கட்டின வீடு தான் இது. இப்போ கலைஞர் எல்லாம் இருக்கும்போது கட்டினது. இப்ப அந்த சின்ன சின்ன வீடு இருக்கு, அதெல்லாம் கட்டினாங்க. இது கீழே இருக்கிறது ஜெயலலிதா அம்மா எல்லாம் கட்டினது. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு மந்திரிங்க ஒரு வருஷம் வர்றவங்க ஒன்னு கட்டுறாங்க. கட்டி இப்ப இன்னும் வீடு கட்டுறதுக்கு இடம் இல்ல. இப்போ அத பிள்ளைங்க எல்லாம் இப்ப கல்யாணம் முடிக்கிற பிள்ளைங்க இருக்குது, அவங்க ஒன்னும் வீடு இல்ல. அப்ப அதெல்லாம் வீடு கட்டி அரசாங்கத்துல இடம் கொடுத்து எங்களுக்கு வீடு கட்டி கொடுத்தா. இப்ப ஒரு வீட்டுல 2 குடும்பம் இருக்குது.
2 குடும்பம் பார்த்தேன் நான்.
ஒரு வீட்டுல 2 குடும்பம் இருக்குது, 3 குடும்பம் இருக்குது ஒரு வீட்டுல. அது படுக்கும் போது நல்லா நெருக்கிதான் படுக்கிறது, வயதெல்லாம் அதை வெளியே தான் படுக்கிறது. அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருக்குது. அதுக்கு அரசாங்கத்துல இன்னும் இடம் கொடுத்து அதுல எங்களுக்கு வீடு கட்டி கொடுத்தா எங்களுக்கு அது அவ்வளவு நெல்லுது.
சொல்லுங்க.
2 குடும்பம் இருக்கு, என் பிள்ளை நானும் எல்லாரும் 2 குடும்பம் இருக்கு. அதான் நாங்க சொல்றோம். இங்க என்ன சொல்றது? ఒక్క కష్ట బొరకు బొళ్ళతేకు ఒక్క కట్టమే కోలు కానీ బొళ్ళం కానీ ఒక్క కట్ట
బొళ్ళతేకు కష్టం.
பனியர் சமுதாய சங்கத்தினுடைய சர்வே பிரகாரம் இங்கே 65 குடும்பம் நாங்கள் இருக்கோம். இந்த 65 குடும்பத்துக்கு கிட்டத்தட்ட வந்துட்டு பூமி இருக்கிறத வந்துட்டு ஏறத்தாழ வந்துட்டு ஒரு 5 ஏக்கர் பூமி தான் இருக்கு. இந்த 5 ஏக்கர் பூமிக்குள்ள நாங்கள் இன்னைக்கு 65 குடும்பம் இருக்குன்னு எங்களுடைய மக்கள் வந்துட்டு அப்படி வளர வளர மக்களுடைய பெருக பெருக குடும்பங்கள் அதிகரிப்பு வர்ற நேரத்தில் வீடு அமைக்கிறது கூட வீடு கட்டுறது கூட இடம் இல்லாத ஒரு சூழ்நிலைகள் நடந்துட்டு இருக்குது, இருந்துட்டு இருக்குது.
அது இந்த சில்வர் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அதுல இப்போ அங்கே ஒரு இடத்துல தண்ணி கிடைக்குது, அங்கேயும் கிடைக்குது. எங்களுக்கு தண்ணிக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் சொன்னா ஒரு ரொம்ப கஷ்டம்.
இப்போ கூட கஷ்டமா இருக்கு.
இப்பவும் கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்குது. என்னன்னு சொன்னா ஒரு பைப்ல தான் நாங்க இத்தனை பேருங்க தண்ணி குடிக்கிறது. அப்ப கிடைக்கிறவங்க கிடைக்கும் தண்ணி, அல்ல வந்தா தண்ணியும் கிடைக்காது. அதுக்குள்ள அந்த பீட்டர் என்ன செய்யறது, நிப்பாட்டிடுவா. அப்ப 10 பேருக்கு தண்ணி கிடைக்கும், 10 பேருக்கு கிடைக்கும்.
ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் இதெல்லாம் எப்படி இருக்குது? இந்த வசதி நம்ம இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு இல்லையா?
ஆஸ்பத்திரியா?
For hospitals, we are going to accord an NGO who has established the hospital. We have insurance with them. We are paying rupees 10 for insurance, and also we will be paying 20 rupees for the medicines, and we spend up and down charges for the bus to go to accord and coming back.
கட்டி வச்சா எங்களுக்கு மருந்து கொடுப்பாங்க.
இப்போ பிரசவத்துக்கெல்லாம் எங்க போறீங்க நீங்க?
நாங்க எல்லாம் இங்க அக்கோட்ல போவோம்.
இங்க பண்றது இல்லையா?
இல்லைங்க,
யாருமே பண்றது இல்ல.
இல்லைங்க, இப்போ இல்ல. அந்த பழைய காலத்திலிருந்து நாங்க பின்ன இங்க தான் பண்ணிங்க.
இப்பெல்லாம்
அக்காடுக்கு போயிருவோம்.
அங்க அக்காடு சௌகரியம் நல்லா இருக்கா?
நல்லா இருக்கு.
நல்லா பண்றாங்களா?
ஆமாங்க.
உங்க உடம்பெல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்கா?
எனக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு.
வேற ப்ராப்ளம்
ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது.
இங்க பொம்பளைங்களுக்கு என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு? ஸ்ட்ரென்த் அந்த பாரு என்ன வீக்கா இருக்கா பாரு.
உடம்பொக்க போயுள்ள இங்க அது நான் வீக்கா
ரொம்ப வீக்கா இருக்குது. எதுக்கு? சாப்பாடு சரியில்லையா? என்ன
சாப்பிட்டுக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கிறதா?
நம்ம ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரிக்ட்டா இல்லையா?
கிடைக்கிற நேரம் சாப்பிடுறோம், கிடைக்காம இல்லாம இருந்தா அப்படியே இருக்கிறோம். அந்த மாதிரி
ரொம்ப சக்தி இல்ல. இது பாருங்க, பாப்பா நல்லா இருக்கா? சக்தியா குண்டா நல்லா இருக்கா? சில பேர் தான் நல்லா இருக்காங்க, சில பேர் வந்து ரொம்ப வீக்கா இருக்கிறீங்க.
நாங்க காலையில இப்படி வேலைக்குன்னு போறோம், சாயந்தரம் 5-6 மணி ஆகும் வீடு வந்து சேர்த்துக்குள்ளார. கிடைக்காது இல்லாட்டி இல்ல பசியாக அடங்கிட்டு அது
வாங்கி தோசை சட்னி என்ன ஒண்ணு இல்லையா? அதுக்கு
ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, அந்த மாதிரிதான் கொடுப்பாங்க.
அது 5 ரூபாய் ஒண்ணுக்கு.
இப்ப மாம்சம் கீசம் எல்லாம் சாப்பிடுறது வாரத்துல எத்தனை வாட்டி சாப்பிடுறீங்க நீங்க? சிக்கன் மட்டன் எல்லாம்
ஒரு வாரத்துல ஒரு நாளைக்கு மட்டும், வாரத்துல ஒரு நாள் தான் சாப்பிடுவோம். சனிக்கிழமைங்கிற நாள்,
அது ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமை சாப்பிடுறதுக்கு காசு இருந்தா தான் வாங்கிட்டு வருவோம், இல்லாம இருந்தா இல்ல. அந்த மாதிரி.
எத்தனை கேஜி கொடுக்குறாங்க மாசத்துக்கு?
அது சிலவங்களுக்கு 20 இருக்கு, சிலவங்களுக்கு 30 இருக்கு, 35 இருக்கு.
அதனால பரவாயில்லையா உங்களுக்கு?
அதுல அரிசியில பின்ன பரவாயில்ல, மத்த பொருள் எல்லாம் தான் ரொம்ப விலை ஜாஸ்தி.
எவ்வளவு கொடுக்குறாங்க? மீதி 30 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறாங்க. சில வாரத்துல வீக்லி they are getting 3 days only to work in the tea estate. That per day 130 rupees only they are paying. That is the conditions. With that money they had to marriage. உங்க புருஷங்க அவங்கள எங்க போறாங்க வேலை பார்க்கறதுக்கு? வேலை செய்யறாங்களா இல்லையா?
அவங்க எல்லாம் வயல்ல தான் போவாங்க. வயல்ல போவாங்க.
போயிட்டு என்ன சம்பாதிக்கிறாங்க? என்னென்ன வேலை செய்யறாங்க?
அவங்க ஏதோ கிடைக்கிற வேலை செய்வாங்க.
காசு எடுத்து வந்து குடுக்குறாங்களா இல்ல கேட்டு அங்கே செஞ்சு சாப்பிட்டு வந்துறாங்க?
அவங்க எங்க போறாங்க? அவங்க சாயங்காலம் குடிச்சிட்டு.
Generally the men won't go for the job. Even if you go for the job, they will spend that entire money which they are earning for the consumption of the liquor. They used to come and harass us. They used to beat us. So the problem is too much for the woman. Woman is the breadwinner. Woman has to work all the days to take care of the family and the children. There is no other alternative for us. We have to struggle like this forever. Suicide rate among the men is very high. Most of the men will be spending their time in the liquor shops and they will be frustrated and disappointed in their life they will quarrel with their wives and children, and they will sacrifice the life by hanging by themselves. See, this young girl is a widow. Her husband died. Now we want her to marry. She refuses because even if she marries, again her husband will start beating and harass her. In spite of marrying, it is better to live like this. That is the decision she has taken.
பட்டா கொடுத்திருக்காங்களா?
இது வீட்டு மனை பட்டா கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. இது
எல்லாருக்குமே இருக்கா?
இது கூட்டா கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. யார் தனிப்பட்ட இது கிடையாது.
வீட்டுக்கு தனியா
கிடையாது. கூட்டா
எல்லாருக்கும் சேர்த்து கூட்டு பட்டா கொடுத்து.
இங்க 65 குடும்பம்னா ஒரு ஒரு 16 20 குடும்பத்துக்கு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க.
அவ்வளவுதான் கூட்டு
பட்டா கொடுத்திருக்காங்க.
அது வேற உங்களுக்கு யாருக்குமே பட்டா கிடையாது. So only 16 households they have the patta. That is also together they have given the patta. Rest of the households that doesn't have the patta. This is the major problem in this Paniya people are facing in this region. It is not only in this region. Throughout Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka, the Paniyas are major problem here in this village. And he is not able to get the water. The only one tap is there for 57 households are here. Only one tap is there. With that tap also, that water is also coming for a short time. And another person who is controlling the tap, he will be stopping immediately after 1 hour, so that they are not able to get 1 bucket of water for each family. They are not able to take bath properly. Weekly once or weekly twice they are taking the bath. That is the major problem they are facing. That is what he is explaining as the head of the village. That they wanted to be water problems should be solved immediately. He is requesting the government and other officials to provide the water facilities for these people. Yes, of course, I have seen here the water problem is the major one, and also the houses is very congested, jam packed. You can see here. You can see here right side. You can see here. These are the houses, and you can see the children. It is like a slum. It is almost a slum, as though there is a vast lands of forest is available, but they are not given the proper houses constructed and given. I think they should be given another land should be acquired, and they should be given proper houses which will enable to live in healthy conditions. That is very important for these people.
Malnutrition is quite common among the Paniya people. Maternal mortality and infant mortality rate is also very high. This is mainly due to the neglect of healthcare practices. Most of them are anemic, which you are observing here. From the inception of the pregnancy to its termination, no specific nutritional diet was consumed by women. The consumption of iron, calcium and vitamins during pregnancy is very poor. The habit of consuming liquor during pregnancy is found to be common among the women. That is also one of the major problem for maternal mortality and infant mortality.
அப்போதான் எங்க மக்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு எங்களுக்கு தெரியும் எங்க மக்கள் எந்தெந்த கிராமங்களில் வந்துட்டு பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருக்காங்க, எந்த அளவு யாருக்கு என்னென்ன செய்யணுங்கிறது எங்களுக்கு அது நாங்கள் அதுக்கேற்றப்பல நாங்கள் இது பண்ண முடியும்.
Here it is a quite interesting subject he has opened, and here we can see that what is happening in Canadian government. They are directly giving to the clans, lineages we call them. The lineage heads, they will handle the money instead of going to the different agencies, different NGOs and other things. Directly it should be given to the clan heads, where they will be having a traditional tribal council. The council will decide what type of developments they have to take and how it should be developed. They have to develop. Now, the Indian system of financing for the tribal development should be changed, which I am experiencing among the 75 primitive tribes I have visited. Nowhere systematically it is financing for the tribal people. Now it is the right time. According to many of the leaders, tribal leaders I have met, the funds should be diverted to the identified the lineage heads or the tribal heads. In turn, tribals will distribute, and they know what type of development they want and what they have to be done. That is the right way of approach, where I have learned from the Canadian aborigines, where I have visited since last 4 years. It is right time that we have to change the policies of funding for the tribal development. Then only you can bring rapid change and development, and you can able to conserve or save these aborigines. Now we are seeing here in this village, only 5 acres of land is available for these people, according to him. There are more than 70 houses. 75 families, 65 families are living, but they doesn't have the construction of the house is also becoming very difficult for them. This is the conditions of living. Now we wanted to bring a rapid change in the society. It is
மருந்து தயார் பண்ணி வச்சிருந்தாங்க. ஆனா இப்ப வந்துட்டு காட்டுக்கு போக முடியாது. ஃபாரஸ்ட் அந்த அளவு கண்ட்ரோல் கொடுக்கறனால யாரும் போகிறது இல்ல. அதனால நாங்க யாரும் போக முடியாது.
Availability of drinking water is one of the major problem the Paniya are facing in almost all the villages. You can see here the color of the water, how much it is contaminated, how a human being can drink this water. The water should be provided immediately to the Paniyas in all the villages.
அது யாரும் ஒன்றும் கிளீன் பண்றது இல்ல.
இப்போ தண்ணி வந்து டேங்க் கட்டி தண்ணி உனக்கு வேணும்னு சொல்லி கேக்குறீங்களா?
ஆமா சார்.
தண்ணி எங்கிருந்து எடுத்து வரலாம் தண்ணி?
நம்ம யாரும் இந்த தமிழ்நாடு கரண்ட்ல போய் தண்ணி எடுக்கதான் விட மாட்டாங்க சார். அன்னைக்கு ஒரு 4-5 பேர் கூட எடுத்துட்டு போனாங்க சார். கோட்டை எடுத்துட்டு போகும்போது இங்க தண்ணி எடுக்க வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு துரத்து விட்டுறாங்க சார்.
He is the village head here representing the AADMK presently, and he is a member of the AADMK also, and he is telling the water is one of the major problems this village is facing, and we have the 4 wells are dried up, there is no water, and they cannot go to fetch the water from outside the village. There are some wells which is outside village caste people, but they are not allowing them. One day they have gone for the water fetching when the problem is there. The other people, the people who are the outsiders, they are not allowed. They have asked them to get out, and they are not allowed to take the water. So water is one of the biggest problem here in this village they are facing. I think the policy makers has to look into the aspect of the providing the water for these people. School எல்லாம் எங்க இருக்குது? ஸ்கூல் ப்ராப்ளம்
நாம தான் இடம் கொடுத்தோம்.
ஸ்கூல் நல்லா இருக்கு. ஸ்கூல் ப்ராப்ளம் ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. ஹாஸ்டல் எல்லாம் நல்லா இருக்கு.
ஹாஸ்டல் இல்லைங்க சார். அது வந்து 5 வரைக்கும் தான் இருக்குது.
எத்தனை பசங்க இருக்காங்க ஸ்கூல்ல?
ஒரு 60 பேர்.
ஹாஸ்டல் இல்ல. ஹாஸ்டல் வேணும் உங்களுக்கு. ஆமா. So he says that there is a school.
ஒரு 8 வரைக்கும்
ஸ்கூல் வேணும். 10 வரைக்கும். So here they have a school for up to 5th standard. There are 60 students from this Paniya village they are studying. There is no hostel facilities for them. He demands, and the village people request that the school should be upgraded up to 10th standard, and hostels should be provided. That is the requirement. Yes, it is really there is a need of a hostel for these boys and girls, and also the school should be enhanced to up to 10th standard. That will facilitate that for easy education and reduce of the dropout rate both for the boys and the girls. Thank you. Unenama sollanuma?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Due to lack of education and requisite skills, the Paniya are not able to take advantage of the new economic opportunities which have been grabbed by the plain people migrated to the tribal areas where the Paniya are concentrated. The new rules imposed by the government, the interference of outside non-tribals, the forest problems and programs have been exploited, alienated, and they have lost their control over their environment, and thereby the Paniya is struggling very hard to survive. The loss of forest and our lands posing great problem, especially for women who take the responsibility to feed themselves and their families. They are struggling for their survival. Several of them lost their lands and houses because of non-availability of pattas for their lands. President land has been increased due to the migration of people from plain lands. So they are forced to shift their houses into the peripheries of the hill regions or to the Parumboku lands. None of them possess the patta lands and the houses. The Paniya are facing a threat for their survival. Presently, they are depending on the public distribution system rice which are provided by the government. The Paniya requires the protected drinking water. permanent houses for their living, regular agricultural employment through NREGA scheme, patta for their lands, especially for the people who are living in the peripheries and also the peripheries of the caste people. The educational facility is very poor, so the illiteracy rate is very high among the Paniyas. So there is a need. Special residential schools should be established exclusively for the Paniya tribes. There is an urgent need to provide nutritional food through integrated child development schemes to the infants, pregnant and lactating mothers. The government policies and the schemes are very good, but at the implementation level it failed. To develop and protect the Paniya, we need a holistic approach for the implementing the welfare programs. The response of the Paniya to the government welfare programs are very good, but they are not able to get the benefit which is meant for them. The Paniya are biologically, genetically, culturally a distinct population living on the earth. It is the duty of all of us to save this aboriginal population before they extinct from the planet.